welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast number 43.
43.
Okay. Doc Wandre, that was the rude Nobod. You can go away now. No one wants you here.
Yeah.
Mr. Fusion.
What up, everybody?
Sweetman.
Good evening.
The Chaos Mana, who's currently fixing technical difficulties.
Hello.
Teejin Lee.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for not interrupting the intro again.
I did that one time. One time.
And we have our very special guest tonight, our number one fan,
Hey.
Teria.
Wait a minute.
Terry-eye.
Teria.
I was the number one friend. I was the number one fan whose name you couldn't pronounce.
It right, trust me.
That's a lot easier than I thought it was.
I was 14. I'm like, hey, my first name. So I just took the first 3 letters of my first name and then added 3 vowels. That's pretty much it.
That's intense. I can't handle this. Go back to normal things.
As the night of drinking commences, I will probably not be able to pronounce that correctly later, so just be forewarned.
Wait.
You wouldn't be the only
Will
one.
you be opening up another big bottle of wine?
No, I don't have wine. I've got a 6-pack of beer. So
what kind of beer do you like to drink?
Why can't you share with the class?
This is Snake Dog IPA.
Ooh, sounds delicious.
Hey,
The
do they sell?
slogan for this particular beer is it snakes down the throat like a faithful friend.
Oh, goodness.
Oh.
Alrighty then.
Oh.
Do they sell Land Shark where you live?
Probably. I don't know.
They do here in Texas.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
like that beer. I have the
Don't
logo tattooed on my leg.
Ew, really?
What?
Landshark? You like Landshark that much?
No, I just really like the logo. But the beer's pretty good too, so.
Everything works out at the end. It's a happy story.
Yeah, exactly.
A happy story.
I don't have any torches.
That's not a happy story. You might want to get that fixed. You know how to make torches.
I know how to make torches.
If not, then that's just cringeworthy.
Whoa, Terry, I am scoping out your profile on Rooster Teeth. You go horseback riding?
Creeper!
Yeah, I have a horse.
Ponies.
She's got a horse.
Stalker.
Well, my dad has a farm. So, yeah.
Oh.
What type of
I've
horse
been
do you
riding since I was a baby.
What type of horse?
She's
do
a
you
paint. A paint.
have? Like you
Nice
know
horse.
what the
A
types of
quarter horse.
horses are.
You know
Is
that
it
I
a
know what
nice
a
horse?
Clydesdale is.
Big ones, and there's little ones, and then there's the ponies, and then there's the jackasses, and then there's the kind that bite you.
Those aren't the jackasses. There's two
No.
different.
There are Clydesdales. That's a kind of horse.
Those are the big ones.
That's the
Yeah.
Budweiser.
That's the Budweiser.
She's just a quarter horse.
First
Have
time
you
I saw
ever seen a
Clydesdale,
Clydesdale up close?
I have.
They're
It's
enormous.
genuinely freaky.
Yeah, they're huge, man.
They're really big. They
I'm
used
like-
to do Clydesdale, like or like tractor draws or whatever, where I used to live near Ottawa. Every fall they do it they'd have a big like sort of county fair kind of thing, and they'd have a bunch of Clydesdales there. They're enormous.
You do not want to be standing next to one when it starts to pee. It splashes.
Well, it's falling from like 4 feet. Like, what do you expect?
Well, did
I'm
you
guessing
have
you
to,
had a great
get...
experience with a Clydesdale.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, what we're going to do at RTX is we're going to give you a pen and one of those compasses, and I want you to draw me the P radius of a Clydesdale.
This is need to know information.
It's
I need
rather
to know
large.
this. Just in case I'm ever hanging around a Clydesdale, I need to know what the P radius is.
Yeah.
Well,
just-
the radius
Stay
of
outside
the
the danger
stream
zone.
isn't that big, but once it hits the ground and splashes, it gets a lot of splash distance.
Well,
Okay,
so don't be in the danger zone.
that's basically it.
Hi.
Danger zone!
Danger zone.
Paging Dr. Loggins.
Paging Dr. Herman.
I'm seeing good things on her profile here. She's a fan of the Forum Thread Hangout Corner and the Forum Thread Podcast.
She really is a thing.
Wait, you guys invited her without knowing this kind of information? Like, what if
She's
she didn't like the forum thread?
She is our number one fan.
She's
for
an
real
avid
this
hater.
time.
But is she a hater?
She can't be a hater. She likes Savage Garden.
Sorry, you can't be a part of my group.
She was about to say that was a phase, so.
Right.
Don't say that.
That was a phase for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't even know. So.
What is Savage
I'm
Garden?
just sad. Yeah, I'm just sad they
it's like an
Band from the
Australian
90s.
duo. They broke up after like 2 CDs.
Every band from the '90s had a phase thing.
They were amazing, and now they're gone, and I'm so sad.
What are you talking about? You were in diapers in the 90s, Nobod. Don't even go there.
I was born in '96. I wasn't even
That doesn't
born
mean
for
he
those
can't
things.
listen to
I
music that
graduated from
happened
high
after the
school in
fact.
'96.
Did you really?
Yes.
Wow.
You
Guess
make
that's
me
when
feel
you lost
old,
your
Nobod.
intelligence, and when some
I was
intelligence
8.
is lost, some must be made. Ha.
That's when.
I have no idea what you just said.
That's
Neither
right.
do I.
Yeah, it's
He
There
tried
you go.
to sling an insult.
I know he did. I know he tried to go highbrow, but it didn't really work because he's not very intimidating with it, with his.
Not
Have
very
you seen
well.
his picture?
burns.
No, Mr. Fusion. I think what you mean to say is he's just not very intelligent. I mean, we were reading his
Okay.
Twitter posts.
Yeah,
together.
we had that game, and we were gonna play it last week. We didn't have enough time, but I'm gonna say it again, and you can go Google it, folks. I'm gonna take him to task here.
I'm gonna take you youngins to
I'm not
task.
gonna chew your ass out or anything, but I do want to throw a little bit of
Aw.
reality on the podcast. Why are you so emo?
Why do you say the word bro?
Bro.
Bro.
Like, totally, man.
Because maybe I'm a sad person. Maybe I just want to be sad sometimes. What's wrong with
Maybe
being
he
sad?
likes to be referred to as bra instead of
I
bro.
don't want to come across as the old get off my lawn guy, but man, you're 17, bro. You got a long life ahead of you. If you think you're sad now, man, wait
Yeah.
till you get to college. There's some really fucking depressing times in college.
College.
I have to learn stuff. No.
I mean, there's parties and
the
there's
social side.
the social side isn't as great as people claim it is. There's a lot
Parties
of.
are boring.
How dare you say these things?
I'm just curious because we play this game, and when I go through these status updates of yours on social media, I tend to get a little depressed with the stuff that's not funny, and so I'm just a bit concerned for you,
Dude,
man.
I had to listen to your sports. I had to look at your sports tweets. all
So
day,
you're saying it's basically either
Hey,
really, really happy
screw
or
you!
really,
My
really
sports
sad.
tweets are great.
That's how I get like 90% of my sports information, by the way.
From me. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
that's
fuck
your.
you.
It's Texas sports.
Yeah.
No, I don't do just Texas. I
It's all
cover
very
everything.
highbrow. Like he's talking about. I'm like, I have no idea. What
I always have to
he's talking
look
about.
up
Well,
what
fuck.
he's
You know what?
talking
Screw
about.
this. We're gonna go through some of my tweets here. Let's see.
Oh God,
I'm
now here he
talking
goes.
about the new Miss Marvel in Marvel Comics. She's
I have that on. I'm picking that up. Can't wait. I'm
I
excited.
was talking about Carl's Jr. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Carl's
I can't read any of this stuff.
I hear there's
Okay.
a new
Put on your old
animated.
man glasses.
There's a new animated movie from DC. I don't remember what it's called, but
Justice
apparently
League
like
War.
Wonder Woman like cuts people in half in this
What?
movie.
It's called Justice League War.
I'm told it's really awesome.
You're
Has-
talking
has
about
nobody-
Justice League War.
I don't know what it's called. One of my coworkers, he showed me the DVD yesterday, and then today he came in. He's like, "Oh my god, the movie was amazing."
Yeah, Justice League War. That's they actually have a whole new cast of, not a whole new cast, but a lot of the regulars that did the characters. They kind of switched them around, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm told it's pretty good. So
I was kind of surprised, especially with how DC's been dropping the ball with the real movies.
oh man,
They would do
Don't
such a good-
watch the movies. Go read the comic books. They're much better.
Yes, they're much better. What DC's doing is Warner Brothers is just they're up DC's ass to get something out there to make money because Marvel is on a fucking roll right now.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, from what I'm told by people that have seen screened Captain America: The First Avenger, it's like going to be balls badass. So
Wait, what's that
I
one?
mean, they're
didn't that one already come out?
Captain America.
I'm sorry,
the first
I'm sorry,
Avenger.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Okay, I was
I'm
going to
sorry.
say. I thought is that a new one? I didn't.
No, I totally, I don't know. I'm losing my mind. Alzheimer's. This one is, and look, it's about a character that's actually an adversary of Captain America that's been around since the 40s, and he's called the Winter Soldier. And technically, I can spoil it. It shouldn't be a problem to spoil it because the average fan will not know the spoiler, like the big reveal. But if anyone's read the comics or know anything about the Winter Soldier, you know who he really is and all that shit. So, but I won't spoil it for you guys. But from what I'm told, it's really good.
You know what movie I still need to watch and I haven't is the second Thor movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet either.
I love the first.
I fucking loved the first movie, and I didn't get to see it when it was in theaters. No one would go with me. I'm like, this is a movie I need to see with people, and I just haven't watched it yet.
I would have gone with you.
It's on BitTorrent.
I'm not going to download it. I'm going to buy it.
Okay. I'm not a thief.
Well, you can do
February. What came out? It came out yesterday, didn't it?
Oh, it's already out.
I thought it was digital download was February 4th.
Oh.
I thought so.
I want to get it on the Blu-ray, but now that we have Ultra HD out, I don't know if I want to wait to see what the next
What's Ultra AD?
HD? But there aren't going to be any Ultra HD players for a 4,000 resolution screen.
Not yet.
Yeah, but who's going to have those?
It's
not anytime soon. Not in the next 3 or 4 years.
If Netflix will be streaming, high enough quality to do that, then there should be some sort of, media. Maybe
Netflix doesn't really stream like really high quality stuff though.
It's only select films that they do that.
Yeah, there's going to be they have a TV series that's going to be in Ultra HD.
Oh,
so
yeah?
those of you that are lucky enough to have Google Fiber with really fast internet
I can't wait to
connection,
get that. I can't wait to get that.
Enjoy.
That's the reason
Ultra
why he
HD.
and Ray are getting married and moving to Austin. It's just for Google Fiber.
Fiber.
That's the sole reason why.
They're just two people who really wanted fiber, so
Yeah.
therefore.
Well, think
If I
about
knew
it.
someone who lived somewhere that had Google Fiber and they asked me to marry them, I would marry them for the Google Fiber.
I mean,
Hell
think
yeah.
about it. They
so
can
you-
move
so you're
into
saying-
an apartment
so
and
you're
share a
saying you're
gigabyte
just,
of.
Bye, Ken. Fiber's calling.
No, he would come with. He would come with
want
me,
the
or he
fiber.
would stay. But...
That'd be a really
Sorry.
weird marriage.
But guys, think about it. They can move into an apartment, get a router, split the connection in the bandwidth in half, and still have 10 times the bandwidth as all of us combined.
Oh.
That's how badass
Wow.
Google Fiber is.
Well,
I
That's
know.
the sexiest thing you've ever said to me.
I'm in a company.
The issue with that is
right
you need-
now. This Wi-Fi is tops.
You need like a computer that'll
okay, then
handle that.
what's your
Like,
what's your
I'm sure some
needs
of you
then?
might, but
I don't know.
I certainly don't.
Yeah, do a speed test.
Link me that.
Speedtest.net. Come on, it's not that hard.
All right, I didn't know what it was. I'm sorry.
Oh. I found out that I'm going to be losing my super fast internet. Well, it's not super fast, but my faster internet in probably, I think it's 6 more months.
Oh, why is that?
I had a promo going on that gave me a free what the fuck does Time Warner Cable call it? The Speed Boost something or other.
Oh, I didn't know you were on Time
And
Warner
the
as
promo's
well.
the promo's gonna run out, and I'm not about to pay $30 more for that.
Yikes.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, so it's gonna be I'm gonna have a sad face when that day happens.
It's life though.
Well, how much?
But I did
how
just-
much is your speed reducing? Is it like from the 50 plan to the 30 plan?
I haven't looked into it that deeply. It should still be fine. It's not going to be like dial-up. It just might affect my online gaming, which I finally renewed my Xbox subscription to
Oh,
Xbox
really?
Live.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
finally
and,
did
and
it.
my friend request has been pending for like 8 months. I appreciate
I
that.
accepted it.
Did
Finally.
you really? I haven't gotten on in like a week, so.
Yes, I accepted it like 3 days ago.
Did you ever
Okay,
send
I
one to
haven't even
me?
gotten on.
Or, I mean, granted, I haven't been on in like months, but
He doesn't like you as much as he likes me, so he didn't send you one.
That's probably what it is. I didn't want to be mean about it, but yeah.
I know that we're friends, but you never join parties when I invite you to them. So
I know because it's like I'm in the middle of something, or I'm gonna play.
I'm already
and-
Mr. Popular.
And get offline, and I know I can't help it. People just want to hang out with me online. What can I say?
Yeah. You're a really cool dude, so
I know.
I get it.
wait, where?
Yeah, I know. It's also a curse.
I can
Mhm.
imagine.
Oh,
Being
guys,
popular is so hard.
What's
I've
up?
been. You might have seen me
Hold on.
post this on Facebook. I've been talking about it and I think it's in the forum thread. But did anybody else watch Gargoyles, the Disney animated show?
Yeah.
I
really remember
even,
it, though.
I think I've heard of that, but no, I haven't.
It aired in between 94 and 97. Like I'm watching it now, and I'm wondering why my sister and I didn't watch this show as a kid, because it is fucking amazing.
Nope.
Like it started off the first season, which is a really short season, it's only like 12 episodes long. Starts off kind of slow, and you think, oh, okay, this is above average child's cartoon with a really dark tone to it. And then, like, when the second season starts up, it gets incredibly more complicated. It's got a fantastically complex storyline, and like really, like the characters are really starting to develop. It's not I don't know how to. It feels like a much more mature cartoon or story. It feels more like an anime, I guess, because it's got a lot of character development. But the art style is just absolutely gorgeous. It's like one of Disney's very first animated TV shows, and so this is before they started to cheap it. Yeah, well, no.
I don't think
those Mickey Mouse started with shorts. But you need to watch it as an adult and just watch the art style, because the animation quality is really top notch. It's better than some actual movie quality animated.
Was it as good as the Mighty Ducks cartoon? Everybody else watch that?
Yeah, Mighty Ducks was sick.
It had absolutely nothing to do with the movies.
Nothing at all.
That's what made it good.
Better than the movie.
They did play hockey in it.
They only
but then they
only made the
Space
movies to promote the team that they bought, or like the expansion team.
They were all from
no. The movies were first. The movies were
first.
And then the team.
Wait, really? The movies were first?
The Mighty Ducks. The first movie came. Mighty Ducks, the first movie, was before then they were, and the NHL awarded Anaheim the franchise, and it was a partial ownership by Disney, so they named them the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. Then they came up with the second one, D2,
after
the sequel, and then they came out with the TV
best
show.
movie ever.
Did you know there was a D3?
Yes, I did, but I never watched D3.
Where they all looked 18, but they were actually supposed to be 14 in the movie.
Yeah, except for like the enforcer guy, he was like 40 years old.
Yeah. That's why he didn't make it into high school.
No.
They discovered his true age.
I need to watch those movies as an adult now, just to see if they're any good. I remember thinking they were okay as a kid, but I probably will hate them as an adult.
No,
I promise they're as good as you remember.
Yeah, they're still pretty good. I mean, a little bit cheesier, but they're still pretty inspiring.
Cheese is good, no Bob.
I just had a hockey game tonight. Speaking of hockey and whatnot, and I got 2 penalties.
Did you win?
BS. Yeah, we still won.
That's all I care about.
3-2. I got like the softest penalties ever.
So wait, so you play hockey? So I remember clearly from the Mighty Ducks movies that one guy flips the puck on the side.
Knuckle puck time.
And hits it, and it like flies through the air. Is something like that, one, legal, and is something like that, two, like even possible?
A, it's legal. B, it's like pretty much impossible.
Mm-hmm. If you did it, somebody would nail you right in the face. Probably.
Yeah, you would be knocked off the eye. Like you'd be on your ass trying to set up for that shot.
Yeah.
Now what they do,
you'd have time.
What they do I don't know if Sweet Man can do this, but what some guys I've seen done it, it's pretty badass. They've picked up the puck on the stick and basically just tossed the puck into the net.
I can't do that, but I've seen it.
That's really sick when guys can do that pretty quick.
There's a junior team in town here, and I was going to one of their games. This was a few years ago, and the guy was skating around behind the net, and he just kind of dips down and picks up the puck and then tosses it. He was still behind the net and like threw it over the goalie's shoulder into the net. And everyone's like, "Whoa!" It was insane. It doesn't get any better than that, really.
Wait, so picking up the puck with your hands is
with
exciting?
the stick. He picked it up with a stick. Yeah, that's what makes it cool.
Oh, okay.
'Cause you kind of like, I can sort of do it, not like they do, but I can kind of pick it up a little bit. But it's really complicated to explain it. But
you have to flip it up off the ice onto the flat of your blade, don't you? And then
yeah, it's kind of hard to describe it, but if you watch it, you can kind of see how they do it. And then
I've seen it done a few times, and like on goal, shots on goal, and both times I've seen this done. The player was behind the net, and he reached around and threw it behind the goalie's shoulder. So I think because it's such a trick shot, that's the only time you have, a few seconds to do that, because you don't have a guy that's going to check you against the glass, fast enough. So
and like goalies, it's like you get pissed, but like you can't really be mad because it's so cool.
Yeah,
you're like,
All
right.
I've got a question for Tarii. She's just commented in the text. My silence continues adding to the podcast, so let's make her not silent anymore. I remember seeing something on her profile that I wanted to ask her about under hobbies. It was, I believe, it said something along the lines of cosplaying. Well, you go to Otakon?
Otakon?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yo. Otaku rave. I've been there.
So we've had people that build their own, build their own costumes and stuff like that. So do you make your own costumes, or do you hire someone? And what do you go as? What's your favorite cosplay? Okay, well that didn't go anywhere. Okay, continue with your story.
No, that was pretty much it. I whatever strikes my fancy that year, and then I throw something together about 3 days before I go.
Oh,
I'm a terrible procrastinator.
Last minute cosplay.
Pre-planning is not style.
So you don't
stay up till 2 a.m.
So you don't build any of those elaborate rigs where you have to have someone to like break you out of your costume in case you overheat or something like that.
Have not done that yet, but who knows? Get a little better every year.
I don't know. Little by little. I don't know. I don't know who or what I would cosplay as if I ever went to one of those conventions. It would be cool to do have a Master Chief armor set, but that's just because it would be cool to wear a giant suit of armor. Everyone does that though, so it's not really cool anymore.
Well, it is if it's a good design. Like if it's just it depends on how effective and realistic it looks, because you can have a full suit of Halo armor, but sometimes it doesn't look quite as evenly spaced or real, quote unquote realistic as some of the other more efficient ones, and they're probably a lot more hot inside.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're very hot.
Unless you had a fan built inside there to cool you off.
Even then, your body heat just being encased after a few hours, you're pretty steamy in there.
Yeah,
I can
you
attest
ever
to
went
that.
to Garurumon? I made it out of a Snuggie. I about died in that thing.
Do they really keep you warm and toasty, huh?
Yeah, in the middle of July.
Yeah, no.
So are you gonna cosplay? Are you going to RTX?
Afraid not.
Okay.
Probably go to my dad's or do something out here.
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry, guys.
No, I'm just worrying. I'm curious as to who is all going at this point, or is potentially going.
Somebody could cosplay Ruby.
There you go.
Like that hasn't been overdone.
You won't. I mean, you wouldn't. What was funny? Okay, when RTX 13, and you guys all remember. Those that went, there were a lot of girls in Ruby cosplay, and the show hadn't even aired yet.
It just
it was just insane.
Dude,
no, one thing I liked is one of the cosplayers was that guy that was in the Yellow trailer that was only there, and he had that rocket launcher. They were even cosplaying that.
All I did was get beat up.
Yeah. there was a girl that was
only
Ruby
the
that had the
trailers.
scythe and everything. It was just crazy.
Yeah, it looked ridiculous. I remember seeing her. She was dragging it around, and even though it was made out of a foam type material, you could still tell that after a few hours she was really tired of carrying that thing.
Well, I'm sure with just foam alone was about 10 pounds for that thing, so you can imagine if she had decided to go plastic. It'd be crazy.
Then she'd have just been dragging it behind her as she walked around.
She would have just given up. Said, "Fuck it,
Yeah.
somebody can have it."
Yeah. Hey, you want this big scythe?
You want this scythe shotgun? I'm not going to use it.
Well, if it would have been cool if it had made like a sort of strap or something. Like, I guess it's hard to make that carryable and make it look cool with very short time or not very many materials. Even with many materials.
Yeah,
awesome.
trust me. My very first cosplay was Sango from Inuyasha. Yeah, a long time ago. I tried to make Harai coats, that gigantic life-size boomerang. Doesn't work. Like 7 foot long.
Wow.
This is something that
Cardboard. Didn't work
this
out
is
well.
something that I think cosplayers can bring a level of reality to these things where it really makes you stop and think. In the movies and in the TV shows, you're like, oh, that looks so cool. But then if you actually are that person, happen to carry something around, you're like, yeah, I don't think anyone would choose to do this.
Well, that's why I forget how you pronounce her last name. Jessica
Nigri.
Everyone's favorite cosplayer on Twitter or whatever. And I think because they upped the budget, Bernie asked on Twitter a while back, who should we bring to this year's RTX, and a lot of people asked that she come.
Yeah.
But if you notice with her, her weapons are always small. Like she never has true to. Well, sometimes she does like the swords, but for the most part, like the weapons are very underscaled, and I'm sure it's because she doesn't want to lug around that stuff all day long.
To be fair, the only difference is that usually most of the characters that are shown with these big weapons have worked out a lot more than the people that are cosplaying as these people. So.
Sure.
Unless you're Ruby, the red, whatever her name is, the red girl
yes,
from Ruby.
Her name is actually Ruby.
Her name is actually Ruby.
Little scrawny arms.
Spelled without the W, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, she definitely does not pump iron every day with that giant piece of machinery in her arms.
Well, that machine is probably light.
Maybe it's magic.
It's magic.
It's magic.
Yeah,
Did you guys end up liking that show in the end?
What show?
The Ruby.
Oh yeah, Dory.
It's
What did you think of it?
pretty okay. It's pretty okay.
I was pleasantly surprised. I know we were very critical about the trailers, and remember when we had Barbara on, she confessed that the whole thing with the trailers. Remember that?
Yes.
She
confirmed our suspicions.
Yeah, because we were, Dark and I really were very critical about the voiceover work and the mix, not just the quality of the voice work, but the mixing. And she confessed that Monty and I don't know if it was Miles, they were the ones that did the trailers, like the mixing of the trailers, so the audio. And so that's why the voice acting isn't very good, because it wasn't done in the same sessions as the show. It was done after the show had finished up. And the mixing was done by
That was actually a relief to me because, because the trailers had put such a bad taste in my mouth, and when I actually started to watch the show, I'm like, oh, this is considerably better. This show still didn't draw me in like it has a lot of other people. I'm not sure exactly what's off with it, but I just couldn't really connect.
Because they had to do an entire thing of them just bringing in them to the school, starting everything, and then starting the whole bad guys arc. I think it was just kind of an awkward, okay, here's everything. We want to get to the actual meat and heart of the story.
It wasn't It wasn't balanced.
It was
the show
off
wasn't balanced
in that regard. I think season 2 has a chance to be maybe even twice as better if they really flesh out and balance it to make the next thing.
Well, I mean, they got the hang of things obviously as they were going along.
You could, T.J. Lee's right. You can tell if you really pay attention, not just the acting but the writing of the story really hit its stride towards the end.
I wouldn't say the writing. I would say the writing is probably the weakest part of the whole show. I mean, the animation obviously, these guys clearly don't have a lot of time per episode. I would say probably the highlight of the show is the music. Honestly, I thought the music was absolutely awesome. But the voice acting and the writing, I think the voice acting improved over time very much. And the writing, I'm sure that'll just improve. Because it really felt like because they even admitted, Carrie and Miles, they were talking about how they watch all these animes. And they're just like, oh, we just picked up what we were learning and stuff like that. And it seemed like what they were writing was every kind of anime cliche possible.
It seemed very cliche to start.
So I think I think they're going to learn from
yeah.
that, and I think that was one of their major criticisms
It's definitely
as well.
testing the waters since it's the first time they're trying an anime in the first place.
Well, yeah, this is a major departure from what they've been used to with Red versus Blue. So it's only natural that they would experience some growing pains, especially
and
when
it's
such
clearly a success as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's such a drastic departure from what they're used to. So even though they are seeing success, they're going to continue to adapt with this new medium that they have.
Oh, they don't own Ruby.com.
They don't.
RWBY.
What is that site?
It's just like a placeholder site.
Yeah.
Well, they might own it. They might have just quickly have gotten, like Bernie said, he likes to actually, if they ever mention a website or URL, they like to just quickly register it because it's very easy and cheap to do so.
Uh-oh. Somebody turn on the car?
I heard that too.
Rumble.
So it snowed here so much today that when I came home after work, my car kind of got stuck in like the parking lot behind my apartment, and so
it snowed an inch today. I didn't have to go to work.
Oh, I wish we didn't have to go to work. It was so bad today. It was like a blizzard. You couldn't see like 40 feet in front of you. People were sliding all over. The roads were backed up everywhere. Like I think to get downtown from where I live, there's like I kind of live on the east end of town, and there's two ways to get sort of into town. One is like a major highway, and the other is this little bridge. And there's like a million intersections on the way to it, and traffic was backed up trying to get in. Well, that's hyperbole, obviously, but the traffic was backed up probably like 2 or 3 miles.
It just kind of drizzled here all day. We had our snow last week. I had a snow day last week too, but I had to work from home, so I'm a little bit envious of you, Tejan Lee, because working from home just is not a fun experience.
I would think it would be.
No, I mean I worked from home today, and it can be just absolute pain in the ass trying to connect to the servers at my job. It's just ass backwards.
The idea of working at home sounds good, Chaos, but once you're at home and you're surrounded by all the things you would normally do at home when you're not working,
I did about half the amount of work I would have done.
Yeah, it just doesn't work very well. There's something about going to your place of employment and you have it in your mind, okay, I'm going here to work. And then when you come home from work, you're like, okay, I'm home. I'm going to do home things. But then when you bring work to home, no, it just doesn't. So it does something to your brain that just doesn't.
So were you taking calls from your house?
Yes. We're able to log into our ShoreTel system from remotely. We have to tie our cell phones to it, and we have the system call our cell phone to verify that yes, it is truly us that's logging in. And then we log into the actual system itself, and so yeah, can take actual phone calls from.
What
from
if
home.
it turned out that your neighbor was the guy calling you? So after many tries, you just got up and went over to his house and solved the problem then.
Get up, go over to his house, punch him in the face, tell him to stop being such an idiot and learn how to use the internet.
So I just saw an article here that on the 401 there was a 150 car pileup today.
Oh, wow. Speaking of dumbasses.
Yeah.
I think there's a congratulations moment.
A new record.
Yeah, like
achievement unlocked. 150 car pileup.
Yeah.
Achieve maximum dumbassery.
Yeah. Oh, it's brutal. I could not get off the roads fast enough today. It's brutal, and like there's so much blowing snow. Like no matter how many times the plows go over it, within like 10-15 minutes, there's just as much snow on the roads as there was before.
Yeah, that's how Michigan usually is, at least the part I'm from. Because where I lived, I was so close to the lake, we constantly had lake effect snow going on, so if we had a bad storm that popped up, it didn't matter what the plows did. The roads would drift shut in a matter of like a half an hour.
And those weren't no normal lakes. Those were Great Lakes.
Yeah, the
Great Lakes.
They're bigger than most seas. I don't know.
This is true.
It's the biggest inland like water body formation in the world.
It's scary.
No, I think that goes to a lake in Africa.
Never mind those guys.
I think the Great Lakes are the second.
If you say so. Okay, they're the largest freshwater?
No. I think it's the second largest freshwater lake formation.
Huh.
Well, I'm
I
gonna
don't
look it up.
Someone Google it.
Largest freshwater lake in the world.
Oh, tell us your answers, oh Google machine.
I'll Bing it.
Why would you?
It's going. It took me to Wikipedia. The Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
I typed Bing.com up top and it gave me a Google search for Bing. Way to go.
Well,
On my old cell phone that I had, it came only with a Bing search engine, and every time I wanted to surf the internet, I would log on to Bing, I would search for Google, and then do whatever I wanted to do from Google, just to spite Bing.
Guys, I figured out
So-
why I don't use Bing.
So according to the Wikipedia, Lake Superior is the largest lake, which is one of the Great Lakes.
Were you trying to say Wikipedia?
Yeah, it's Wikipedia. I just pronounced it.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, Lake Victoria, which is in Africa, is the second largest.
Okay, that's
And
what I was
then-
thinking.
And then you've got Huron and Michigan are the next two, and then a bunch of other ones.
So wait, what does that say
so
the
you're right.
world's largest lake is? Okay,
Yeah.
because
It's like-
Wikipedia is trying to tell me that the world's largest lake is the Caspian Sea, and that doesn't make any
That's-
sense.
That's
I'm sure
because
there's some
It's salt
technicality.
water,
This
but it's
doesn't-
like,
I don't know.
yeah, whatever.
Dude, you can trust Wikipedia. You're going to be using
You can
it
trust
for years while you're still
everything
in
you
school.
read on the internet. The internet wouldn't lie to you.
the
I can
South
change what the
Caspian is
internet
a small
says,
ocean.
so...
I guess it depends on how
would you
often
rate
those
it?
pages are checked and then changed back. In
Is-
that case.
Fusion, are you older than the internet? Is that a thing?
I predate the internet. Yes.
Were you
Yeah.
born before 1983?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
I predate
The internet was born on 1983.
What did you think when you first saw it?
Oh, no, dude.
The first incarnation of the internet was made. It obviously didn't hit mainstream until '94, but yeah.
I thought it was a little bit older than that. Okay.
I thought it was like 81. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was the beginning. Well, I suppose 83
Wikipedia.
What was
is the
that?
beginning of the 80s, but still.
I don't know.
Wikipedia.
He's had
What
too
about
much coffee.
Wackapedia?
I don't know. I'm just going through Jessica Nigri's
Agree.
Twitter photos. Very good.
Yeah.
Yes, they need to bring her to RTX. That's what I'm saying.
I think she's gonna be there.
Yep.
I think she was at the last one.
She wasn't at the
I
last.
I
have
hope
no-
they
I
bring
have no
some of
idea.
the other
I don't know-
some,
I don't know what
at least
I'm
one of the
talking
other YouTube-ish celebrities there.
Well, she, I don't know if you guys ever go to the website, The Chive, but she is like really good friends with the Chive guys, and they actually moved their headquarters to Austin over the summer last year. So I'm sure she has no problem coming to Austin because she can do another photo shoot with them. So
Oh, guys, do you remember Pancake Theater from last
Is it
RTX?
coming back?
How it was presented by the Spill Crew, or a couple of the guys from the Spill Crew.
Spill.com, yeah.
Spill.com no
Wait,
longer
what?
exists.
What?
Is it renamed?
Yes, no, it's gone. It was
It's forwarded.
canceled.
Yeah, it's forwarded over to Hollywood.com now.
Yes, I went over there. I wanted to check out their newest movie reviews, and it was gone. I was redirected to the Hollywood website. And I'm like, the fuck is this? I love listening to their movie reviews.
Spill.com was an award-winning movie and video game review, discussion, and news website. It was. So yeah, you're right. It was on December 6th. It was announced that the site will be shutting down. So now it's been redirected to
Why would-
Hollywood.com.
Does it say? Do you have any reasons why they actually shut it down at all?
Founder Corey Coleman posted on his Facebook page that he cannot share details regarding the shutdown, but that he was mostly made peace with past events and everything is fine.
Bullshit, bullshit. That's what I hear.
He also received funds via Kickstarter to start a new website that will be a spiritual successor to Spill.com, tentatively titled New Beginnings. So maybe Hollywood.com, whoever owns that URL, that page probably bought them out. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whoever these Hollywood people are, we need to set their website servers on fire.
So, okay, we can shut them down. Sure.
Oh,
BOS, Hollywood.com. Make it so, folks. Make it so.
So
Do we have that power?
So
or-
is the I guess not under spill.com, but what are the chances that Master Pancake is going to have another showing at the next?
I would hope so. Hey, if not, we could always do
Oh, yeah.
one of those things instead of doing the podcast. We could say, hey, we'll do the Pancake Theater for you. It's kind of what we do.
Okay, so just real quick, guys. The website, Spill.com, was still originally owned by Hollywood.com back then under RNS Investments. So something happened to where they just shut the site down. So maybe the guys, the collaborators are no longer working together, possibly? Corey Coleman and Martin Thomas were the two guys.
I know. Yeah, there were like 4 main cast members of the show. So I don't know who owned it or who was the leader. I don't know. They had one guy. He was voiced by an actual person, but they always just called him co-host. And his little animated character was a floating like cybernetic orb, and they always just referred to him as co-host. But he was obviously
like
voiced
church.
by a real person. Yeah.
I rewatched season 11 of Red vs. Blue because I think I missed a few episodes in there, so I rewatched it the other day. I really I like that they kind of went back to the more simple,
just standing and
like,
talking, basically.
yeah, like dialogue driven instead
Yeah,
of like
man,
crazy action all the time.
I thought this season was a huge success. I mean,
Yeah, and I think they just
a lot
announced
of people were like, "Where's the action?" Because I'm like, you should have watched.
Well, I admit
before
that they
season
shouldn't
8.
have
Yeah.
great action, which is why I think it's a good thing that they're just going through another story arc, and I hope this one turns out to be as interesting
Yeah.
to me as the Freelancer one, because in my opinion, that was a great entire story altogether.
Well, I gotta admit, Miles did a good job with the writing last season.
Yeah, I think they just announced.
Yes,
the
they
new
just
season
announced it.
coming
They
out?
even had that little
Yes, they
poster
did.
on Twitter.
Yeah,
I think that came out earlier this week.
Yes.
That they did the announcement.
yeah. So that's cool. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Ah, God, we need to come up with something new to talk to Terry about.
let's ask her.
Complaining about the silence.
Let's ask her about the second name, Firestorm. Where does that come from?
Random edition. Like I said,
Good
I
story.
I was freaking 14.
damn it,
And he's dying.
What do you want me
No,
to say?
I
Man.
understand that. My name comes from when I was 13, so, and I've been stuck with it for my entire life.
I got my name for my
Oh.
birthday.
3 years.
No bod.
This was in the early days of the internet. Mom's like, don't use your real name, and everyone you meet is gonna be some porn
Still
dog
don't
jacking
don't
off.
use your real name on the internet. Listen
Oh
to that.
God. Yeah, do you
It's
remember like when
still
chat
true.
rooms were a big deal and people
Oh,
were like,
yeah.
"Oh my God, chat rooms are gonna be the downfall of our children."
Exactly.
There's a lot of
You
bad
can run
things
away
happened
with
in
him
chat
and-
rooms.
there's a lot of bad things happen in bathrooms.
That's
Okay.
also true.
I mean, you hear those bad stories about kids being abducted in bathrooms. I mean, everywhere you go, nothing's safe. That doesn't
Oh,
mean you
yeah.
have to fucking curl up in a ball and die.
Oh,
It's
it was.
just,
I
you know,
pretty
it
much
just means
grew
you
up
have to
like
pay.
that.
yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Speaking of absolute idiots. Okay, I've got
Oh,
to
boy.
bring this up. So we all know
Yes.
Bill Nye the Science Guy and
I was waiting for you to bring this up.
the retard at the Creationist Museum had their
I
big
saw
debate.
there was a live stream of
Yeah.
it.
I haven't
So-
watched it
I
yet.
could have watched it.
So then
So don't
We
don't
have-
spoil it for me.
Is it on
Then
YouTube?
mute
I'll
your
watch
mic.
it.
I'm not going to. I'm talking about one of the comments that I read on the internet. I bet I'm gonna fuck this all up, but Fox
Uh-huh.
News,
Yes.
you know their reputation.
Mhm.
One of the chick on Fox News did a report about it was right after the Bill Nye the Science Guy thing, and it was kind of they had just touched on that, and then they touched on the Super Bowl commercial with Coca-Cola.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
getting a lot of shit. Yes.
With all the different languages, and she said something along the lines of, if Jesus wrote the Bible in English, then English should be good enough for Coca-Cola.
Wait, what?
I
Wait,
watched.
she-
The Bible
She
was
said
not
that,
written in
really?
English, though.
No,
Something along those lines.
The Bible was not
So
originally
I
Why
written
do
watched,
people
in
say
English.
these things?
I'm
I watched,
paraphrasing
they had-
it, but that's the
They
gist
had
of
a
it,
couple
yeah.
people on one of the news channels. I can't remember what it was. It was two people kind of on both sides of the argument from that Coca-Cola commercial thing. But there was something that kind of caught my ear, I guess, from one of the people who was it was some woman who was advocating that it was like a good thing and that people should be able to speak their own languages and blah whatever else. But one of the things she said was as America is a melting pot of whatever of all these different cultures, but I don't think growing up in schools and stuff we were always taught America is this big melting pot and Canada is more of like a cultural mosaic, which if you really look at like what a melting pot is you take a bunch of different things and you put them in there and you melt them and they all become kind of the same thing. Like sure you add a little bit from this and you add a little bit from that, but at the end of the day it's all sort of one big homogeneous mass. So I can understand why people might be a little bit up in arms about like, oh well, they're not even speaking English, whatever else. So like I guess I kind of understand that, but like people seem to be taking this like so far out of hand.
Okay,
It's like
The
it's a
people
commercial.
that have an issue with it that I think are the xenophobes of the United States, where anyone that's if they don't speak English, like it's a lot of these. They tend to be religious. They tend to be generally Southern, and they're like they think that the United States is English and should only speak English and a lot of other things, but they fail to realize that the United States was not always English. It is only English because Europe
It was
spoke
founded
English.
mostly by people that came from England.
Yes, and that's
I mean,
the
there's a
only
lot of
reason
Dutch
why it's
people
the
and
dominant
whatever
language.
else, but my
Spain
point,
came first.
I guess my point is that like I can understand if like people in America speak different languages, but like you should probably also speak English. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing in Canada. Like
It's just it doesn't matter. Like sure they can speak English, but they're also allowed to have their other language.
Yeah,
either
for
way,
sure,
especially
like-
with the national. What was the song? American the Beautiful or something
Yeah.
like that. It's just like you're just
It's
because
where you are.
people can speak English or they should speak English. It's just like
well, I think it's important if you're going to live in a country
a
where
mostly English speaking
the dominant
country,
language
yes, to
is
learn
that.
English, but it doesn't
Like-
mean they can't speak in their other language, especially.
No, I know.
No one's telling them that, but to function normally in society, in American society, it would be best to learn
Yes.
English.
Yeah, like if I moved
Just
to
like it
France,
would be best to learn German in Germany.
Exactly.
So, but there's like a lot of pushback against that, I think. Just
But it's like they're
culturally.
responding like as if they refuse to speak English when they're
Yeah,
just
well,
choosing to
there's
speak
a lot of
their
people
language.
that do that
Ridiculous.
though.
It's
There's a lot of
bullshit.
people that do that though. I mean, even here in Canada, there's a lot of people that will live. They'll move here when they're in their mid 20s, early 30s, and they'll live until they're 70, 80 and never learn English or French, which are
Then
the
that's
two
their
official
problem.
language here. Well, but I mean that's causes a bigger issue when it's they can't get services. I mean they're not entitled to, but that affects your quality of life. Like, and if you're gonna be that stubborn that you're gonna affect your own life because you don't want to do that, like that's a problem that it ends up affecting other people because then they have to deal with you, and it's frustrating for everybody around you. You know what I mean?
Well, I
Yeah,
think that's
no, it's
gonna
always
become-
frustrating when you don't understand people. I understand
Yeah,
that.
and that's something that I think is going to become, in one way, more of an issue, and in another way, less of an issue, because like with the boom of globalization that we have going on here, it's so easy to just pack up and move to another part of the
Yes.
world, and you may not necessarily speak that language. You may like learn to speak that language, but then you wind up being able to speak it, but you're embarrassed of your accent. It's really hard for other people to understand you, yada yada yada. So there's a lot of roadblocks there. So I can kind of understand that, but at the same time, it does kind of piss me off that you have so many people that are irritated with the idea of someone not being able to speak a certain language. Because in the world that we're building, that our entire race is building with globalization is we're in a state of transition, kind of, if you think about it, where anyone can go anywhere, any around the globe. So, sure, you may not be able to speak the language, but like for that Super Bowl commercial, for example, it was more of a message of unity. Like it doesn't matter where you're from, what language you speak. You can still love a place, you can love a country, you can love a product, and it's just irritating to me when you have someone that, even though it was a piece of commercial marketing, that symbolizes something, like unity no matter where you're from, and trying to break people apart using this message of unity. It's like, seriously, guys, do you have nothing better to do with your time?
It's just complaining for the sake of complaining, man. That's all it was. It was a nice little commercial. I don't know. I really can't see why people would take like wholehearted offense to it. It was just a commercial,
Yeah, I take offense.
People
more
find
to
a
the
way.
fact that there were no good commercials really this Super Bowl. It's like they knew this Super Bowl would suck, and so they didn't bother giving any commercials.
I've been trying to find like a site with a bunch of them on it, but I can't find them anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
YouTube.
YouTube has. I think there's a channel on YouTube for all
Yes,
of
they
it.
usually
I think
throw
so.
up most
What
of
isn't
them.
there a channel on YouTube for?
Okay, there were a few. I remember there were like 3 commercials that really made me laugh, but all in all, I was pretty disappointed. I don't watch the Super Bowl for football. I don't follow it at all. I watch it for the commercials, and they really let me down this year.
I think my favorite ever was a few years ago. Doritos did one with there's like a little kid, and a guy came over to like take his mom out on a date, and he like starts playing video games with the kid, and he like grabs a Dorito or something. The kid like smacks him. He's like, 1, don't eat my Doritos. 2, keep your hands off my mama.
Doritos was okay. You're right. The commercials really weren't blow you away funny or entertaining. I think Radio Shack was okay.
Yeah, I saw that
the
one.
90s or 80s
80s,
reference,
yes.
Radio Shack.
80s.
I knew as soon as that commercial went on,
store
all
back.
the older people from my work were going to start commenting on it, and they were going to love it. I'm like, guys, let it go. It's over.
The 90s happened. They came and
The
went.
80s happened. It's over.
The horrible fashion senses are no longer there. It's not in vogue anymore. Just let it go. Let the
Neon
90s
colors
go.
aren't coming back.
Although I think I'm starting to see women wearing bangs again, and that's really bothering me.
Oh, that's been a trend for years, dude.
No. In the 90s had
Oh,
the
I
big
get it.
bangs. They
The
weren't
poofy
normal
bangs. The poof.
Like the bump bangs.
The cotton candy bangs.
Yeah. Like they're almost like they stick your finger in a light socket and then your bangs stick out.
That's not coming back. What's coming back is the flat bangs. The bowl cut
Yeah.
bangs. Those are coming back, and that's not.
Those are
Well,
those
that's
are all
that's the
right.
one I've seen back.
I think
come
it
back
really
for a
depends.
while.
I think it really
Those don't
depends
offend
on,
me as
I
much.
guess, the rest of your hair and the person.
Yeah,
basically.
if you can pull it off, you can pull it off.
Well, I mean, if Scarlett Johansson has really crappy bangs, do you really think we give a fuck? Come on, seriously.
I do.
Some
Right.
people would, dude.
If she's
Total
gonna,
turn off.
in her leaked cell phone camera pictures showing her bare ass, and buck naked, everyone goes,
Yeah.
"Oh God, look at those
Look at
fucking
her
bangs.
hair.
They're horrible."
Look at
Well,
her
Jesus.
hair.
Honestly, I'm
Show some class.
I would be the only
lady.
person sitting there
I'm a hair
criticizing
guy.
her hair.
I'm a hair guy. I don't care.
Yujin Lee is the hair guy now.
Okay, hair guy.
T.J. Lee, the
Hair
hair
guy.
guy.
You're the hair guy.
I'm mostly hair myself right now.
Oh,
Weird.
that's
Uh-huh. I'm picturing a
know what
skinny
that
version of
means.
Gaston now.
Sure.
Because-
I'll
Does
hold a
any-
book on the
Because
awkward
it's-
angle and say, "What is this?"
you know what I'm talking about? Because in the song he sings, every last inch of him is covered in hair.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I did not.
I
And
got
then like
it.
hair sprout out of everywhere.
That was pretty good.
I can't remember the last time I seen Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, you poor.
I saw
thing.
a parody.
well, Dark,
the,
when did you
of
last
the
watch
first
it?
song? Trying to remember it.
last week?
I don't remember the exact date, but it was last year.
I haven't seen that movie since Nom.
Oh yes, let's talk about Disney movies. I love Disney.
So So I work with a bunch of old guys, and they like
No.
always love going on about like how things used to be, and they're like, oh yeah, we used to do this and we used to do that.
You work with
And,
Mr.
like,
Fusion?
every time I get I try to like under my breath, I'm like, and then the Korean War ended. But I get in a lot of trouble when I say that.
And then the women's right movement happened. And
Yeah.
slavery was abolished.
And then the Bible was written.
Suffrage screwed up everything. Yeah. It's like, what was Jesus like in real life?
And then the dinosaurs came around.
He was a bit of an
Yeah.
asshole.
I had a group of older guys that I grew up with, or not with, but I knew when I was growing up, and they're always talking about how good things used to be. I'm like, yeah, I see the way you treat your wife. I'm sure everything was just absolutely fantastic when it was a man's world, right?
Well, if they didn't mind it, you know.
Like everything revolved around you, you damn sociopath, you. I could see why you miss it.
But shit got done.
Yeah.
Sandwiches were made.
Sandwiches were made. I mean,
Sandwiches.
shit. Who doesn't like a sandwich?
It's hilarious
Yeah.
that's the go-to. It's not like any dude can easily make. Like a sandwich is the easiest thing in the world to make. Like,
Yeah.
why don't you try
Like
something
sandwiches.
complex that obviously men can't do?
That's the
What, like
joy.
craft dinner?
Kraft dinner?
Yeah.
Like hamburger helper? Is that what you
Is that
want?
what you want?
Yeah.
Is that what you want? Does it make you happy?
Yeah.
Fine.
You know what I'd rather have instead
That
of a
stuff
sandwich?
is disgusting.
A
Or
Lunchable?
instead of Kraft dinner,
Lunchables.
I would rather have hummus.
Lunch.
Ew, that's so
You
gross.
actually did
How
like
come they don't make
Ugh.
Lunchables with hummus?
It's fantastic.
It's great.
Where
with
did
bread.
you where did you get it?
Just get like pita bread.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't attempted to make it myself. I get it from one of two places. I get it from this restaurant that it's a Mediterranean restaurant called Neomond, and the other place I get it from is Whole Foods because it's not as good as the freshly stuff made at Neomond, but it's pretty good.
It's good for grocery, right? For grocery store hummus?
Yeah, for grocery store hummus, it's well above the normal stuff that you would get.
Yeah, if you catch Whole Foods on a good day, the guacamole is pretty good too.
If you catch
Theirs
them
is
on a
pretty
bad day, it's the complete wrong color.
Yep, it is actually.
Yeah, because they don't put preservatives in it, so
Yeah.
it does oxidize over
No,
time.
well, I guess you have to be very
You just put a little slice of lemon on it.
Yeah, because if you get like freshly squeezed orange juice or lemonade from Whole Foods or Central Market, you have like 2 days to drink it before it goes bad.
Because sometimes
Because
it's
it-
not
I
just
found-
freshly squeezed.
They don't homogenize it.
I found in a fridge at work
pasteurized.
a thing of orange juice that expired like a year before, and I opened it up and it tasted like as fresh as the day it was squeezed.
Well,
I don't-
orange juice is a tricky thing because orange juice has to be pasteurized,
Mm-hmm.
and then after it's been pasteurized, it no longer has its orange juice flavor. Because any cook can tell you when you're using citrus, you don't put a major amount of citrus in until after it's been cooked because the flavor disintegrates.
Mhm.
So after you pasteurize something, which means heating it up to the point of boiling to kill anything in it, the flavor, it doesn't really taste like orange juice anymore. So they actually have to put the flavor of orange juice back into it after it's been pasteurized. So,
So are you
yeah,
saying it's
new every
artificial
day.
flavored orange?
it's weird. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Read the ingredients of your orange juice. It'll say like citrus flavoring or
That
orange
made from
juice flavoring.
preserving.
Yeah, natural orange flavor.
Natural
So then,
flavor,
how
yeah,
how
natural
long
orange
would
flavor.
natural orange juice last?
Not very long at all because
2
it's
days, maybe.
full of
Yeah.
sugar, so natural fruit sugars, and bacteria love the shit out of that.
Yep. That's why, like, in the South where they have those picnics with fresh squeezed lemonade, if it's not in ice, like on ice, don't drink it if it's been out for a few hours,
Don't
Yeah.
drink
because you
the
will get sick.
lemonade.
You will get sick.
Yeah, especially
Just, like, ferments really
Southern
fast.
lemonade because they add so much sugar to it. It's so sweet. It's like syrup almost. And on a hot summer day, yeah.
Oh, so if you guys ever come to Canada, try Nest tea. It's like iced tea, or
Well, we
But,
have that.
like-
We
We have-
have that here too.
We have
I
that.
have that here.
yeah, but the Nest tea in the States is not the same.
man.
It's not. Ooh.
No,
Well, we
not
have
even.
many
It's
different
not
flavors.
even close. Like every time I go there, like I really like iced tea, so I'll go down to the States, like to Burger King or McDonald's or whatever, and order an iced tea. And like every time I forget that it's always unsweetened, and then even if I get the sweetened stuff, it's still just like tea with sugar in it. So if you ever make the trek up here, get some Nestea. It will blow
How
your
often
mind.
do you come down to the States?
Does it come in a bag?
No.
I only
Every few
drink
months.
juice out of a bag.
Like I live pretty close to the border with New York, so I'll go down to like Watertown or something, and they sell booze really cheap. So
Terry, do you like booze?
Yeah. Not so much beer. I'm more of a vodka girl.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hello.
I think I've found another soulmate. You and I.
It's good that you guys can bond over vodka.
Yes.
fresh squeezed
yeah.
screwdrivers.
That's the only requirement he needs.
So what happens if you freshly squeeze your orange juice and then pre-make a bunch of like a batch of screwdriver?
And then you add vodka.
You're trying to.
Will it last longer?
You're trying too hard.
Obviously, the alcohol will, prevent bacteria from growing. However, the alcohol will also break down the citrus compounds. So,
It's a lose-lose
not gonna-
situation. There's no winning.
So you're a vodka girl. What kind of vodka do you like?
Right now I'm drinking Smirnoff 100 proof.
Smirnoff.
she's drinking now, and you're not a talky drunk, huh?
Not really.
Are you a
sorry.
violent drunk? Like, do you get into fights?
Not really. I'm more I get, pass out in bed after I've puked all over the car, sort of.
Nice.
Well, that's not
That's pretty
fun.
cool,
God,
too.
That reminds me of my New Year's party. Jeez, I barfed all over the side of my friend's vehicle when he drove me home. I didn't get any inside the car. I hung my head out the window and barfed on the side of his car. But I
Did
didn't
you
get
get
any-
the flashback or from the wind as it blows back in your face?
No, we were not on the highway. It wasn't like that.
That happened to not me, but my best friend, his girlfriend. We were at a bar in downtown Austin, and it was a bar that I was, just a regular, and I knew the bar, one of the bartenders and one of the waitresses and the bar manager, and I'm just walking around socializing with people I know, and the bartender, she comes up to me, she's like, "Hey, we have to kick out your friend's girlfriend. Why?" So she's fucking puking everywhere. And she had never drank, because her boyfriend, he's a drinker, but he gets drunk really quick. And when he goes out with me, I can throw down beer like nothing and shots. Well, he was trying to keep up with me, and so she was trying to keep up with shots. And so she ended up having like 5 shots in like an hour and a half, and she just got wasted. I'm off walking around, and she, this girl comes up. She's like, "We have to kick them out." Why? Because she's puking everywhere. I said, "No, seriously." So I walked to the back, and they have her leaned over on the trash can. And she goes, she just threw up all over the back by the bathroom. I walk over there, there's shit. It's puke everywhere. So the manager was cool enough to let us leave out of the back of the bar into the alley off of 6th Street. And we get out there. We're walking to my car. There's a homeless guy sitting there asking for money. She fucking pukes. Not on him, but almost nailed him. And the guy gets up. He's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And she's just like, "I'm sorry." Everywhere. We get in my car. Doesn't puke. She's fine. As soon as I pull out of the parking garage, rolls down the window, all over my car door. Like the outside of my car was just covered on the passenger side. So when you're talking about throwing up on the side of a window with window down, I remember that. Yeah.
And since I worked as an automotive detailer for so many years, like the next morning I'm like, oh my god, I hope he washed the side of his car off, otherwise my stomach acid will be eating away his paint.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I drove some guys downtown one night, and we're about halfway to the bars, and I hear in the back seat just like, "Ugh, ugh," and I turn around, and the guy's like got his hand halfway down his throat, like trying to throw up. I'm like, "What is wrong with you, man?" And like I roll down the window, and he sticks his head out. He sticks his head out, and he like throws up, I guess. And so we get out, and I walk around the back of the car. And he's got the door open still, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't get any on it." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's good." And then he closes the door. The whole side of the door was covered. Thanks a lot, D-bag.
Normally I don't get to the point where I have to throw up when I drink. I'm pretty good at holding my liquor, but damn, this New Year's party that I was at, this Indian guy just kept on feeding me wine and feeding me wine. Like normally, I'll my glass will get empty and I'll have some time between. But this fucker did not let my glass
all
empty. Every time it
strategy.
was like halfway gone, he just filled it back up again. Yeah, I think that's what he was trying to do. But yeah. Oh my God, it was the he wasn't bad looking at all. The nice dark skin, my first 3 boyfriends are black, so I got a thing for darker skin.
Mr. Fusion.
What are you asking? What do you want?
You have darker skin.
What are you
yeah,
asking?
dude.
What do you want?
I'm sorry, I was zoned out. For a second.
Ship.
He's like, yeah, zone out.
Ship
Yeah.
that.
Have you ever gotten really mad when you were drunk?
Yes.
Who?
All of anyone.
No, I
Who
think
gets, who gets mad when they're drunk?
I think it's
Not really.
impossible for me to get mad when I'm drunk. Everything is so wonderful.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I'm a fighter.
I'm just,
Yeah, there's this.
I just relax. I kick back and I can get into fights if I need to. I just don't like to be bothered.
I talk a lot.
Do you?
I couldn't tell. Not you.
No, when I'm drunk, it's worse.
But
It's
why
like
didn't
3
you?
times as much
Why
as I
didn't
do.
you get a bottle open before you?
What?
I have no,
Could
I
you?
have no booze on me right now. I know it sucks.
I would share. I still have.
That's
2
why I keep
beers
asking. Why don't you share? You have 2 left. I thought you had a whole 6-pack.
left. I've got 2 left. I've got 1 regular, and one of them is a Dos Equis. So I guess that was what was left over from another 6-pack. I would share with you, but you're not here right now, so I guess I get to drink it.
How long would
I'm
it
on
take
my
you
way.
to get there?
Hold on to that beer.
Just give him a few hours. He'll be
It-
here.
It would take me roughly 15 hours.
That's not bad, especially since they're so far north.
Well, I drove last summer. I drove to Georgia in one day, and I was on the road. I think like I traveled for like
How many
17
kilometers
hours.
per mile did you drive?
How many kilometers per mile?
No,
1.6.
kilometers per hour.
Oh.
Kilometers per hour. Did I say mile? I don't know.
Yeah. I
Joke.
drove 1.6 miles kilometers per mile. No, I was driving. I think I was going about 65 miles. I don't know. I just kind of switch over to miles when I cross the border.
Who
But-
the hell can drive 65 miles an hour? That's so slow.
Well,
Dave,
between
all the time.
wow,
That's
and
like
it
the
was
speed limit on the
crazy
national
raining.
highway.
It was
No,
crazy.
he was
it
driving on
raining
25
really hard
mile
the
hour
whole time.
roads.
That's the speed limit here in North Carolina, but I drive
In New York,
at
it's only
least
60
80.
though.
That's the national speed limit for highways.
In New York, it's only 60.
Well,
In Michigan,
that's because they can
75.
lower
Yeah.
it. But
It switched to 65 in West Virginia, and that's where it was fast everywhere after that.
Bullshit,
But
bullshit. No. Ugh.
it's true. But everywhere else, it was pretty like I drove. I don't know, between 65 and 80, I guess, most of the way. But there was like a crazy rainstorm somewhere around Virginia. It started, and so like I could barely see by the time I got through South Carolina and stuff.
I always get one of those when I travel and drive cross country. I can never
Yeah.
drive across all those states without running into at least one rainstorm.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
It's
know
trying to
don't know
prevent
what's
you
up
from
with that.
leaving.
Rain
It's like the states are
Sylvania.
crying for your departure.
Every time I
But
drive
don't
through
leave.
Pennsylvania, it rains like mad. But one of the coolest things when I was driving into South Carolina, there was like some fireworks thing going on, but because of the way the highway was, it looked like I was driving straight into it. So it was like celebrating my entrance into a new state. But like it kind of turned right before I got to wherever the fireworks were going off of. But it was still really cool. It was like, I don't know, 11:30 at night. And
Yeah. We don't
driving
talk
through
about
is just like
South Carolina here.
it was pretty neat though. South Carolina was nice.
South Carolina is like North Carolina's ugly stepsister. You just don't talk about them. You'll talk.
Yeah,
we
it's
can
not
talk about. We can talk about Georgia, but we won't talk
Aw.
about South Carolina.
Georgia was nice too. I liked it there. That's like as far south as I've gone though in the States, anyways.
That's really about as far south as you get in the States. After that, it starts to get northern again.
Well, I could go to Florida.
Florida is northern.
What? Oh,
Yep.
You mean like the South states? Or
Yep.
whatever?
Florida
I
doesn't
see.
count as a southern state, it's a northern state.
Huh, I didn't know that. But now I do. Well, there's a lot of old people, and like I guess Florida's known for newlyweds and nearly deads.
That was amusing.
It's not really a joke. It's actually quite true.
Yeah.
It was just amusing.
There's like a
though.
lot of
Maybe
there's
that's
a
why
lot
it
of
was funny.
Canadian people that go down there during the winter, like old retirees and stuff. They'll have a place in
everyone-
Florida.
Everyone goes to Florida to die. It's a fact of
Yeah.
life because it's the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
I'm going there in September, so yeah, I'm going to go.
Fusion, why?
I don't know, just that's where everybody goes to die. So
But you got so much time left.
It's time to go, dude.
no, apparently, according to Tej and Lee, I don't have much time left at all.
If you die, can you be mid-podcast while you die?
No, I'm gonna.
Would you be the first person ever to die on our podcast, please?
Please?
Yeah.
It would be an honor.
If you die, if someone has to die on our podcast, they have to say, "So long, cruel world."
No, Fusion has to sign
I
off
read
in,
something. I think it was like a.
in a radio voice.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Wait, we'll never get
There's
the audio,
fusion.
though. How do we get the
Signing
audio?
Hurt Blair.
That would be horrible. We'd have to, like, send a letter to whoever...
Sweetman's about to die of
We'll
lung
go to
cancer on the
Mr.
podcast.
That's
Fusion's
not-
wife. Make sure he gets the
that's
the audio file, and we'll just load it up.
But
I have to go. Why haven't we stopped yet?
yeah.
Because we still have time to talk.
We wanna
keep
talk
on
about stuff.
going and going
you got plenty
and
of things.
going.
Well,
Why
to be
won't-
Go to
fair,
bed,
though,
go
Bod, we
night-night.
started like a lot
Yeah.
later, so your time perception will be off, even on the Skype call.
It's time for you to go to bed.
Go night night.
Yeah.
It kind of is.
Yeah, I'm not the
actually,
only one who
sadly.
heard his dad.
Go do your homework.
Yes. Later.
He's
You know,
still got a bedtime, so
He's a young one. Leave him alone.
yeah.
And remember to
That's
upload
okay.
your audio, damn it.
Yes, upload your audio.
I did it
Fuck.
rather early. I did it the next day, I think it was.
He's a young
We-
one,
the
but he's
rest
over
of us
there
do
in
it
the
on the
chat,
night.
hitting on Tarii.
Get
Yeah.
over it.
I
Teriyaki.
wasn't paying attention to what was going on in the chat log. Were you two playing Patty
Teriyaki.
in the chat?
Alright, go now.
Patty fingers.
I have phonetically written down your name, Tarii. Okay.
Phonetically, it sounds a lot like teary eye, like someone's crying.
I just think of like
Yeah,
I think of
don't
like a
depress
big
her.
eye scar. You know, like
Oh,
like a terry eye.
tear,
Yeah,
tear
like
your
tear.
eye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I'm
tear.
picturing cataracts.
Me and my
Oh,
buddy were
Mar-
talking about this today, like the big eye scar. I was like, I think it'd be really cool to have one. I just don't want to get it, you know? I don't want to go through whatever experience I would need to like receive a big eye scar. It would just be really cool if I, somehow.
Well,
have
yeah, that's the only reason why it's cool, because it's fucking hell to get there.
Yeah. That's
No, my dumbass father, when I was growing up, we put up this pig fence because we were gonna have pigs. This is before we had chickens, and he's stringing this fence. He's not wearing safety
That's
glasses
fun.
like you're supposed to when you're putting up a fence. And guess what happened? The wire got caught. It sprung back as he was trying to nail it to the next post there, and one of those sharp little edges scratched him right across the cornea,
Ow.
and he had a cataract in that eye ever since.
Ouch.
Like, and this, children, is why you wear
The
safety
worst thing
glasses.
about eyes is especially, I mean, technology is improving, but eyes are like one of the things where if you go too far, you're basically losing one of the most important senses ever.
It's like neural tissue. Yeah.
Yeah, did you know that the liquid inside your eye never changes? Like, you're born with the same liquid inside your eye that you will die with.
Mm-hmm.
Because your eye is a completely sealed environment, so the liquid never
Even,
leaves.
I was gonna say, aren't they the same size as when you're born? That's why babies have such big eyes, and then you just sort of grow into
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So the eyes are fully developed. They're giant inside the head of an infant. Yeah.
And that's why they're so adorable.
Some
Yeah.
are. Some are just flat out ugly.
Yeah. The whole big eyes thing. I don't
You know
know.
what? You can't call a baby ugly. Like
Oh,
that's
I
just
can.
not.
Watch
Sure
me
you
call
can.
a
You
baby.
can't-
Absolutely.
You can't judge a
Yeah.
baby on its looks. It's like you can't
Sure you
call
can.
a dog ugly. It's just a dog.
Well, it's a big
Yeah.
difference
Babies are
because
There are
Dogs,
more and less attractive
even
dogs.
if you're not considering the actual species of the child, dogs on the bigger scale are not as dirty and don't do as many things as humans do. They don't throw.
Yeah.
I would argue that babies are as dirty as dogs.
They are.
Yeah,
more
I'm
dirty,
saying
I would
dogs
say,
are
'cause
cleaner.
They shit on themselves.
Aren't
Yeah.
dogs pretty clean? Aren't dogs like pretty clean though?
Yeah, because
far
the
as the
mama's
animal
always
world
cleaning
goes?
them. If you watch,
So
Yeah.
we're all of the opinion dogs are better than babies.
you don't see
Oh,
you
hell
don't see
yeah.
women in the hospital licking their infants' heads every couple
Yeah.
hours to keep them clean.
Well,
You know?
not in most hospitals.
In most
Some
hospitals, that's not how it's. Yes.
Oh, does anybody, anybody speaking of babies, you know how babies, their shit doesn't actually stink for the first like week of
Who
after
who
they're
told
born?
you
Yeah,
this?
I don't know who told you this, but it stinks.
Probably.
No, it-
They come out smelly, and then they stay smelly.
They're
No,
covered
the
in
babies
shit
come.
sometimes.
The babies come out smelly, but the babies, when they have their first poop, it doesn't actually stink because they don't have gut flora yet,
Huh.
and it's not until
So-
after they start feeding that they start developing gut flora, and then
Why
after
do you
that,
know this?
then the shit starts to stink.
I learned something today.
Because people need to know these things.
Not me. I don't plan on having any kids. I'm cool.
Well, I was the oldest of all my cousins, so I grew up around lots of babies, and so,
Naturally, you learn about floral acid.
Well, no. I was always curious about why these things were, and so after the internet happened, and there were
Science
lots of science
show.
shows that I know, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna learn it, figure out.
I learned that on Bill Nye.
Well, Bill Nye's his show's a little bit too kid-oriented and doesn't go into enough detail anymore. So, wait, does he still have a show?
He doesn't
No.
do the.
I don't think he's
show
doing anything right now.
still. Yeah, he does. The
That's why he
debates
goes on
mostly.
debates.
He does.
He's
No,
got
he
a
comes
debate
on.
with
He goes on
creationists.
news. I think it's not Fox News, but he goes on a couple of news channels, and he does whenever they have these little alien type stories, anything like that. He comes on and talks a little science. Yeah.
I think he's does a lot of spokespersoning for
He
like
did
clean
a
energy, renewable
series
energy
that
sources
I
and stuff
remember
like
that was not the show. It was like this environmental thing where each episode was about different things that you could do with the environment. It was like a particularly like science, but basically about it was one big environmental message show.
Bill Nye's still cool. Oh, have any of you seen the meme going around after his debate with a creationist guy, where they're quoting him saying, "There are trees on this planet that are older than what you think the world is." Something
No.
along those lines.
Well, that was part of his argument. That was part of his
Yeah,
argument the other night. He said,
It's
"Okay,
turning into a meme now.
he's
Apparently,
he's saying he was saying you're telling me that the Earth is 6,000 years old. When how do you explain trees that when they have rings that are over 10,000 years old? There's rings to prove that this tree has been around that long. And
It's
the
because
guy-
God put them there, man.
Well, and that's the thing. The creationists, their belief was, well, God, he put old trees on the planet when he created it.
yeah. Didn't you hear God also hid all the dinosaur bones to
Yeah.
mislead everybody?
Exactly.
He thought it would be a good joke. Oh, what a good
the thing
laugh,
with
God.
that debate I took was Bill Nye did not win, because if you win an argument involving creationism, that means the other party will shut up because they've lost, and that's not going to be the case. These people
Well, I
need
mean,
to
I
continue
think
to talk.
I don't think I don't think this has done much to convince the people who still believe that much in creationism. So
No,
it basically just creates like a lot of buzz around.
It was just a
museum.
gimmick.
They're,
That's all it was.
they're selling DVDs
Yeah.
of the event, so it's really a money-making scheme in the end.
Well, that's the whole reason why it happened in the first place. It was all the proceeds from the debate actually went to the Creationist Museum, because the Creationist Museum has had to downsize because no one's going to it anymore.
And Bill Nye got a lot of slack for participating in that because they were saying basically he was just helping them get money.
Right. But
So-
but you know, if it's already in such dire financial straits, I could
It's
see
gonna
why.
it's gonna help.
Yeah, I could see why it really wouldn't matter, because it's not going to drum up that much more business, and even if it does, it's one of those things that's just going to disappear because it's just so retarded anyway. Like, have any of you seen some of the videos that this museum makes for its children? For children,
No.
it should be criminal. There's this one.
Is it like Jesus Camp?
No,
kind of stuff?
it's worse. There's this guy who is talking to the camera, and he's got a machete, and he's chopping through trees, and he's talking about how
Wait,
T-Rex obviously ate plants, and that the
Sure.
the sharp teeth were made for chopping trees and chopping foliage, just
how-
like the
Right,
machete
right.
is used for chopping plants. It's like, just because a dinosaur has sharp teeth
How does
doesn't
that
mean
make
that
any
it ate
sense?
meat.
T-Rexes
That
were
doesn't
giant
seem
gardeners.
like a logical
Yeah.
thing, even
Yeah.
if they were for chopping trees, or if they.
If you
God.
tell a 3-year-old that, they'll believe it, dude.
Yeah, it's like worse than the Veggie Tales.
So you're
And-
saying creationists have the mindset of a 3-year-old?
Pretty
I'm
much.
telling you, I'm saying a 3-year-old has the mindset of a
alright.
3-year-old. And if you
Yeah.
tell a 3-year-old a story,
Let's start pissing people
What?
off.
Yes.
Well, I'm not
Maybe we
trying
can
to
start.
piss people
Maybe we can
off.
get some hate mail. Yes.
People are entitled to their own opinions of things, as long as they don't.
Yeah, and also I
push
think
them
it's
upon
more
other
important,
people.
even
Now,
if
if they
you're
wanna discuss, that's
of
one thing,
the
yeah.
opinions. I think, especially these people, push it too far, and they don't. They're not open for other opinions, and they're not open to, I guess, compromise with certain things, like things that you know may not or may have happened, and
and again,
Yeah.
you're singling out the people that are assholes about it. We're not talking about everyone
Definitely.
who believes in these kind of theories.
No.
Obviously, like they can still be great people, and they just believe something we don't believe. Like, it's just the people, the loudest among them, the people who post about the Coca-Cola,
extremists.
and the guys who tweet about it and complain about it, or the people who complain about not having a White History Month. It's just like those are the loud assholes, and whenever we criticize a group of people, it's just those assholes.
Well, it's the extremists, right? They always sort of cause problems for everybody else.
The goddamn noisemakers.
I mean, atheists are just as big as assholes as, believers.
Oh yeah.
you
So
We're all
anyways.
we're all assholes.
know,
I am an asshole. Yes, I admit that.
So I got a harmonica the other day because I want to jam with blues
Start
music.
playing, dude.
I'm not very good though, so
yeah, play right now.
We'll be the judges of that.
Bust
Start
it out.
playing.
Bust it out.
Let's
Yes.
go, John Popper. Let's
Yeah.
go.
okay. Give me a second.
Oh, if I
John
had
Popper?
my harmonica
I had to pull
all
something
the
up
way
here
o-
first.
like tarked away. I would get that out too.
Wait, so we have two.
Yeah, I have
people
this.
on the
It's okay,
podcast
we'll
that
wait.
play
I don't know.
harmonica?
It's like one that you can push the slider and go into a different key.
Ooh, that's fancy.
That's a good one.
Mine was like
do I have,
$9.
do I have time to go pee before you start playing?
Well, I got the harmonica right in my hands here.
God damn it! Like my bladder's about to explode.
Well, just like
Yeah, you wait.
use
wait.
one of the empty
did-
bottles. or
Haven't you been
something.
drinking your beers this whole time?
Yes, it's catching up to me.
Just hold it; it'll pass soon.
No, it won't.
It'll come back out.
Tell you what,
From
you
the
go.
other way.
You go ahead. You do your thing. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay. So this is a song I found like how to play it online. Apparently, there's like huge online communities of harmonica players that I didn't know about.
Harmonica Rooster Teeth.
But this is a song. Yeah, There's like some forum. It's Harmonica Club. They have 81,000 or 8,100 members, which is pretty crazy. But anyways,
81,000 members.
8,100. Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But still, that's a lot of people. There's more people that than listen to us. So, anyways,
That's not true.
I hope not. So.
Wow.
So that's
Nicely
like,
done.
yeah, it's like the only song I know. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You should cut
That's called
that
Ada
part
Rice.
and then put that at the beginning as the opening.
Have fun editing that.
That is. I'm gonna make that our theme.
Perfect.
Nice.
So you're listening now. You can be like, wait, I just heard
yes.
this in the beginning. That will be our intro. Yes, it will.
Oh, cool.
And then
I'll try to come up with some.
Yeah,
cool-
I
I'll
was like,
mix it
add
into,
some.
to that Blues Traveler song, "Run Around." I'll kind of just mix.
Yeah, add some
actually
like I
heard
don't know,
that all the way
drum
from the
beat or
bathroom,
something
from my
like that,
headset.
Really?
And then it'd be like a really
I
cool
did.
theme.
Yeah.
Add Nobod's rap.
Yeah.
I will do that.
Rapping to Edelweiss.
Yeah, I think I'd rather chew on tinfoil than listen to Nobot's rap.
I agree.
Oh.
Is he still there? Is he in the
And
chat?
he's not here to defend himself.
Did he leave? No, he left.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he
Yeah, I
said he
think
only
he had to go
that
to
wasn't like
bed.
only listens to.
Well, now he has reason to listen to the rest of this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing better than me. I don't listen to any of them.
Yeah, I only listen to the ones I'm not on. I don't want to hear myself.
I mean, I'm on most of them, but still.
You're on everyone, dude.
Yeah.
No, I've missed a
Like-
few.
He's missed a
I
few.
experienced these.
Yeah.
That's why we had to switch, because the Saturdays, everybody was starting to miss out.
Yeah. I missed a lot of those ones.
Now we have just the opposite problem. We have too many people trying to be on
See,
this
and
thing.
look at this. Everyone wants to be a part of the podcast, except for
And poor
some
Meta,
people like
he was
Wes
like
and
on for
Indy. They
the
don't wanna join us
first like
anymore. They're ashamed
20
of us.
podcasts. He was off and on, and
We've become too big.
now his computer's just dying on him, so he can't attend. Oh really?
Well, he's listening to us. He's commenting in the
dang
Twitch
it.
feed.
And Indy just said she'll join us next week drunk.
Oh, it's about goddamn time, Indy. I've missed drinking with you, Indy.
She's drunk right now. She and I are going back and forth on Twitter. And,
Yes!
I was trying to get her to come on, but she said she's at a friend's house, but she will join us next week. drunk.
Excuses.
We may not
So
be
tune
drinking.
in next week
I
for
did not
the
notice
triumphant
that there-
return
I
of
did not
Indie
notice that it
Renegade.
was actually
there you
because there was no chat post for like
Hi.
a long time. And then I finally look at the chat. Oh, there's Meta. Gosh dang it. Yes, very much.
He's
so.
a faithful listener.
Oh,
we always
oh.
appreciate everyone that listens regularly. We do.
No, there was actually a question
We do.
emailed to us. Our first
What?
question like that. So I'm gonna go.
What?
Someone emailed us a question? Oh my god.
Do you think we should answer it at the beginning of the next week's podcast, or just answer it now?
Censor it now.
Cliffhanger.
Do
Oh,
it
yeah,
now.
yeah. Why
Yeah,
don't you ask
cliffhanger.
the question and then we'll leave and answer it next week?
Yeah.
What a
No,
dick.
I have
It's a
to go, so
cliffhanger.
You just keep going.
So what's the question?
Yeah, what's...
Do tell.
Oh, you just...
Ah,
You
build
had
up.
all that
So what do you
build
guys
up.
think the
just
question
killed the
is?
I
joke.
emailed
You
the
can't do
question,
that.
but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the question. Do you guys want me to ask the question?
That's the puzzle.
It's like I went to this bar called Puzzles.
Here we
Why is
are.
it called Puzzles? I don't know, man.
That's the
That's
puzzle.
the puzzle.
Do any of you own a game on the NES?
And?
You paused the live feed.
Bum,
Um,
bum, bum.
I mean,
Well,
currently or
thank you
in
for
real
that
life?
great
It's
question,
apparently a
Watcher.
friend. It's
I
Night
thought we were
Saw,
going to
a
have a
friend
better
of
question
Wobblade.
than that.
There are no bad questions.
Oh, thanks, Wobways friend. Well, answer the question, guys.
Okay, I don't actually own an NES game. However, I own one vicariously through my sister, who has several NES games.
I have the Golden Zelda.
My
Oh,
sister
yeah,
has
I
one of
remember
those.
that one.
Mhm.
I don't have any.
That's all I got. I got a bunch of Super Nintendo games, but I don't have a Super Nintendo, so I can't even do anything.
SNES. Yeah, my sister, she's got a regular Nintendo. She's got a Super Nintendo. She's got the Nintendo 64. She's got no, she doesn't have the GameCube, but she has the Wii, and she doesn't have the Wii U yet. And she's got a couple of those big
So,
plastic tubs full of Super Nintendo games.
She's a bit of a Nintendo fan, ain't she?
She might actually have a GameCube. Actually, I'm not sure. She wanted to have every major Nintendo console that was ever made. So I think she might have a GameCube by now.
Does she have all the Game Boys?
She does not have a virtual boy. No, she's not a
Those
handheld
are
gamer.
sick.
She
I played one of those in a Blockbuster
I guess
in
here's
like sometime in the 90s. I don't know.
They were cringeworthy.
Yeah.
They made the 3DS look like a piece of, I don't know, space science by comparison.
Yeah.
that color.
And everything was red. I don't understand why everything was red.
It's the easiest to animate, I guess. I don't know.
Are you talking about the Virtual Boy?
Yeah.
Virtual Boy, yes. Everything was red.
That
Wireframe.
was really bad. Yeah, wireframe. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was like a step backwards.
Well, it was 3D
Well,
though.
Webwave's friend, I do not currently own an SCS, but I do have roughly 1,000 NES games
Wow.
via emulator.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cheating.
I didn't know we were counting
Cheater.
emulators.
Okay,
I've got
well,
those.
Yeah, he was.
that's-
That
I
was
don't know.
the
This
second
person
part of
has it
the
for NES
the
games,
start,
like
second part of the
actual
question.
games.
If so, what games
There's no
do you
pride in
have?
owning
and-
emulators.
Okay, well
God.
then,
If not, what games would you want to play on it?
okay.
Can I borrow them?
Okay. Well, I will say this: that I have stored away the original copy that I bought when I was
Oh
a
my.
wee lad. First issue of The Legend of Zelda, in the gold disc NES cartridge, and
Secret, like,
it's,
5
locked
layers
away
of
in a nice
security.
secretive place. It's up my butt. How's that? It's up my butt. But
I'm
The
not
Legend-
going in there.
The old
That's
Legend
the
of Zelda
safest place.
just pissed me off so badly because
Oh.
it saves your game data, but if it gets jiggled the wrong way, it erases your saved game data.
yeah, that's
Like, so
because
you
that
get
battery in there
half-
wasn't very good.
Yeah,
Wasn't
you
very
get halfway
Can you-
through the game and then bam, all your data's gone. Like, motherfucker, why?
It's like all those old Pokemon games a couple of years ago. They're like, the battery's gonna die soon. There's this huge thing on the internet. Everybody was going nuts because all their batteries in Pokemon were dying.
Oh, they got to transfer the
Yeah.
Pokemon
Yeah.
over?
Have any of you
So like
heard
a
of
later version?
Pokebank?
Yeah.
Yes. What about it?
Apparently, that's a new thing coming
Yeah,
out.
I
where
thought that
you can
was
store
I
all your
thought that was
Pokemon
the like
in
the
cloud
final
instead of
way
on
to
a
move
handheld.
Yeah,
any
it's just gone
Pokemon
live
from
in,
Black and
North
White
America.
to the most recent iteration.
It's basically the way so you can fill out your Pokedex with like all 6 generations of Pokemon.
Yeah.
I don't
That's the
understand
idea.
it myself, but it sounds kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems
I don't
neat.
play
Should be.
Pokemon.
People will use
Oh,
it.
Yeah,
cost?
for sure. There's like,
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Oh,
It
well,
costs
that's not bad.
something like $5 a year. Or so. Yeah, it's like it's cheap, but yeah, it's not very expensive. But
I can't imagine most people are going to use it beyond a year.
Especially when you're having like a lot of kids
Wow.
using it that don't have a source of income, so
Yeah.
it would have to be cheap so that they could talk their parents into buying it for
I
them.
went. I think it was last year, or the year before. I went and like me and my buddy like got all retro and we're playing Pokemon again. And I went and bought one of the like remakes of an older version. And one of the guy at the store told me that he had like 300 hours playing one of them.
Oh my
You
god.
know what I didn't realize
So
until
much.
just recently? about Pokemon that it's the first anime to really achieve mainstream success in the United States. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of have a new respect for
Before-
the series. I didn't realize
Wait,
that,
wait,
that
I think
anime was as
Did that become a hit
before then?
before Gundam
I don't know
and
when
Dragon Ball
was
Z?
the
and-
original Pokemon
Yes.
compared to the original Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball.
Pokemon came out in '98, and Dragon Ball Z ended in '97, but we had it in America on Cartoon Network in like '95, '96. So who knows?
I don't know. All I know is that Ken got to see Pokemon like 2 years before it came out in the United States because he went to Japan to visit his family and he saw it there.
Crazy uncensored version.
Lucky him.
Yep.
The
Oh,
uncensored
yeah.
version.
Well, even did anybody see in the third? I actually saw the third Pokemon movie because I was trying to accept it at the time. And did anybody else notice that scene towards the end where Pikachu is totally feeling up on Ash's mom's boobs?
What?
No.
She picks him up and he's like happy to see her and he like grabs her boob and is like cuddling with it.
I
Eh,
like Pikachu.
yeah, he was cool. My mom named one of our dogs Pikachu.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. She thought it was funny. I thought it was stupid, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's pretty stupid.
Hey, if she's a fan.
Yeah, I guess. Well, because like
Hey,
I guess I was 10 when that came out, or like 9 or 10. So like it was like kind of during my time. So I grew up with that and stuff. It was funny. Me and my a buddy of mine had I moved away, and then he came down to hang out for like a weekend or something. And so we were like playing old Pokemon games, and my little brother, who's like 8 years younger than me, was playing one of the new ones. And we're like, "Oh yeah, I just got like Charizard or something." And he's like, "Oh, you need to get like whatever this is." And we both look at him with like this dumb blank stare, like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Because it was like third generation or something. We're like, what?
Eventually, they're gonna run out of ideas, right?
I think
they're
they
gonna run
did
out
a
of
long
animals.
time ago.
Like they like start mixing together animals in pots and pans. I know. I just never liked the idea that all the Pokemon
well, I
can
guess,
say
did
is just
you,
new
you
variations of
wouldn't
their
have,
own name, aside from Meow
heard the
or
of it because you don't play it, but they gave special permission for Pikachu only to actually say his own name versus in the games they only make like little like weird noises when they come out. But now it actually says Pikachu like it sounds in the American.
Yeah. That was only on the yellow version, though.
well now it later versions he still does that. He was the only Pokemon in those games who still says his own name. He doesn't have like the traditional growl. But when you evolve it to a Raichu, it goes back to the old growl. Like
Lame. Who likes Raichu, anyways?
yo, dude, when you're when you're playing later in the game and you need
Yeah.
a strong electric type, Raichu comes through in a clinch.
Zapdos,
Unless you have Zapdos.
Avi.
There's a chandelier Pokemon now. It's a Pokemon that looks like a candle that evolves into a chandelier and then evolves into a big chandelier.
The explanation
Really?
for the chandelier
They-
This is
was
the point
it
where
was
you
scraping
reach
the
your
bottom of the
ghost
barrel
Pokemon.
now.
It's like ghosts possessing another
There's a
body.
barrel Pokemon now. It's pretty cool, honestly.
I'm holding out for the crack pipe Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's probably next iteration.
and the
yeah.
vibrating dildo type
There you go.
Pokemon
Yeah, where's that one?
for her pleasure.
Oh gosh.
So like one of those
And
Japanese
then
dolls.
you hear Pikachu Pika.
I'm sure that exists somewhere.
Think
Rule
of the
34,
children that
man.
are
Yeah.
listening to this.
Rule 34.
Yeah. If you can think of it, somebody's made a porn out of it.
Oh, it's a blessing and a curse. I'm scarring myself right now with the pictures in my head of this right now. We need to change the subject.
We
Yeah.
need to wrap it up. We're at an hour 40, man.
Yikes.
Holy shit! It's already gone that long.
Yes, it
We're
has.
sorry, our dear Twitch followers. We didn't mean to keep you up all
Metal.
night. We know you gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
Shout
we
out
do.
to Metal Legacy. Metal Legacy.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
man.
shout
Metal
out.
Legacy. Meta.
So, you
Meta.
know, whenever you're good,
Meta.
you might as well join us again, Meta.
Yeah. We miss hearing you on the podcast. I almost forget what your voice sounds like. You just left us. Just
Well,
like-
see, you didn't listen to the old podcast. Now you have an excuse to go listen to the old podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Time for that.
no one got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, everybody. We bid you a good night. We will see you around same time next week, hopefully on time.
Yay.
I'm looking at you, Chaos.